Do you know the most misunderstood rule in all of pickleball? Well, this morning, neither did I. That's until I met Mark Peifer. He's a certified referee from the USAPA, and he's going to tell us what that rule is. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, this is CJ Johnson. And as I told you, I'm here with Mark and we're going to talk pickleball rules today. I mean, who doesn't love a rule or two, right? So Mark is a certified referee, but I don't know if everybody knows what that means. So why don't you tell us, Mark, what is a certified referee and how did you get into this?
Certified referees, there's about 140 of us around the country from different states around the union. And most referees are volunteer referees that raise their hand and want to become a referee for their local tournaments. There are, like I said, about 140 of us who've gone through a certain process to become certified. And that allows us to referee at some of the major tournaments, like the Nationals in Indian Wells, like Huntsman Games, like Fall Brawl, some of the major tournaments, Tournament of Champions and those kinds of things. So there's a certain classification of referees who have decided to go learn the rules in detailed format and go through a process that allows them to referee in those kinds of tournaments.
Awesome. And how did you get into this? Were you just a player and liked rules, or how did you fall into this?
I started off as a player and quickly realized that the people that I were playing with didn't know the rules like me. I mean, I didn't know them, they didn't know them. We were making up rules as we went along, and finally I said, you know what, I'm very uncomfortable. I'm one of those people that if I'm going to play a sport, I want to know it inside and out, and I didn't want anybody to take advantage of the fact that I didn't know the rules. So it really became this kind of self-motivation and sometimes preservation on the court and knowing the rules better than somebody else. So that's really why I went into the process of becoming a referee and then become certified. I did that because I thought as I got older that there was going to be a time when I wasn't going to be able to play at the highest levels of the game. But I could be a pretty good referee at the highest levels of the game. And that's really kind of the motivation why I got into it.
And I have to tell you, I learned so much from Mark today, and now you're going to learn something too. I'm going to let him tell you about the most misunderstood rule in all of pickleball.
After I became certified, even before I was certified, people seem to really have trouble with the rule about what is the rule when a ball bounces and somebody calls out, and what happens if they call out before the ball bounces. So my recommendation, strongest recommendation for all the players out there is to go take a look at page 33. There's a rule 6D12 that explains the differentiation between an out call that is made before the ball bounces on the court and what happens after the ball is bounced and then is called out. That is the most misunderstood rule, and it's probably the one that as I'm roaming the courts as a certified ref, I get called over to rule on more than anything else. So that's the one I would focus on.
Okay, and where is that again in the rule book?
It's on page 33. It's rule 6D12, and it's in the rule book for USAPA Pickleball. You can get this online, you can get it in hard copy, or you can actually download a PDF version online.
And hey, by the way, if you've got any rules questions, put them down in the comments below, and I bet you I might be able to get in touch with Mark, and we may be able to get you an answer
CJ, I got one other thing I need to pass on. As a player, if you want to go take another look at a rule that might be able to save you points or prevent you from losing a point or finding a point from your opponent that they may not realize they have just given to you, go study rule 4B on the positioning of players. Who's the even player, who's the odd number player, and how you determine whether somebody's in the correct position at the serve or on the return of serve. That's the best player tip I can give all of you.
And that's an awesome player tip because, like, who doesn't want more points?
Right.
And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna put a link in the show notes down below to the rule book. But now, if somebody is out there and they want to get a referee training, because I have to tell you, if you haven't been through this, you really should. We not only did we learn a lot, we had a ton of fun. He makes it a lot of fun and so much less intimidating to being out there. If somebody wants to bring this to their community, how do they go about doing that, Mark?
Well, first I have to give credit to Bob Patten. He is my training partner. We co-teach this. Bob and I have two jobs that are relatively new in USAPA. Bob is actually the referee training coordinator by title for the states of Hawaii and California, and I'm the certified referee training coordinator for the states of California and Hawaii. And every state has a Bob Patten and a Mark Peifer that's assigned to them, and those are the folks that any player that would like to have a session like we had here in Reno, Nevada today, that's who they need to get in contact with. So how do you do that? How do you find out who that referee training coordinator is? And that answer lies with your local ambassador. And the local ambassador may not be aware of the referee training coordinator, so all they have to do is work their way up the line and eventually get to more than likely their district ambassador, and there they'll find the answer. Who are the people that are the referee training coordinator, certified referee training coordinator for their state?
Okay. That's awesome. So here's the place to start. I'm going to put down in the show notes as well. I'm going to put a link to the USAPA site, which will have your ambassadors. So start with your ambassadors and just know if they don't know the answer, there definitely is somebody out there who'll be able to help you.
You can probably get a hold of CJ and she'll find me and then we'll get the word to you.
That'll work. That'll work. Go do it. It is so much fun. If you got value from this video, make sure you give it a little thumbs up and share it with your pickleball playing friends, because together we can train smart, live bold, and age well.